Hey, John and Mike from brew-news.com. Here we are again. We're tasting something dark and something delicious.
Is that what it is?
Another one of these beers from my cellar. It's
dude, you're hiding all this stuff on me.
Most recently brewed stout.
I give you all these all these jabs at you that you don't brew all that much. But
I'm on the horse right now.
You just listen. You've been brewing like incognito, and now it's all coming out. It's like it's almost summer, and you've got all these beers. So tell me more about this. Is a stout.
Yes.
And this is up on the whiteboard. This is Evolution 1. Do the Evolution Stout.
Evo 1.
So what is all about? You said like, all right, we're gonna taste a stout, and we're gonna need a new category for this stout. Like, listen to this guy. He's like
a brand new stout.
Delusions of Grandeur. He's like changing the BJCP categories.
Stop brewing their stouts.
No,
stop
because this is it. This is the new stout. So no other stouts matter.
Here's the deal. I brew
nothing else matters.
I brew a fair number of stouts. Right. That's no surprise. The thing is for me is that I'm trying to create what I really want to be like the house stout recipe.
House stout.
And I brew a lot of oatmeal stout.
Yes.
Okay? But oatmeal stouts always bother me because you know what? I think oatmeal stout, the number one problem with oatmeal stout is one, oatmeal. And two, people's perception. I have never in my life gotten some sort of oatmeal-y, nutty, whatever joyous flavor out of oatmeal. Oatmeal is extremely bland and has zero taste quality.
Agreed.
I've also struggled in the past to actually achieve creaminess from oatmeal. I sometimes think if you mash really good, you sort of lose that. But what I have noticed, if you remember back 17 videos ago, we tasted a cream ale I made.
Probably more.
And a cream ale I made that had Flaked Barley in it.
Yep.
And that thing had some body, had some silkiness that was weird for the style, but I took note. I took mental note. And I thought, you know what?
You can't take enough notes.
No, you can't take enough notes.
That's what we learned.
Go watch the live feed. You can't take enough notes. The deal is this. I wanted to go back to stout, and I wanted to do flaked barley in a stout instead of oatmeal. I wanted to kind of focus on the oatmeal stout flavors that I like, chocolate and caramel, but I wanted to get the body in there. And I wanted to use flaked barley. So this stout is a flaked barley stout.
Nice.
Okay.
Evolution.
It's a basic oatmeal stout recipe, but I pulled the oatmeal out, replaced it with flaked barley. Not terribly mind blowing, but I think the effect is far better and far easier achieved this way than it is with oatmeal. So, what do you think of the beer? And then we will discuss the conundrum that is this beer.
Oh no, there's a conundrum.
Yep.
Okay. Well, because you were feeding me all these lines and influencing me through direct and indirect conversation. But I would say that if you told me to drink this blindly, the silkiness, the body is all there.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yes.
And I like that. It's almost like there's a roastiness there. Do you want more chocolatey? There's some dark, like,
this is definitely
some dark chocolate in it, but it's not like I've had more chocolatey stouts.
Yep.
Now, but if that's not what you're going for, and you want like more like a roasty thing going on with a little bit of dark chocolate, then that's what you got. Yeah. But I think from a body perspective and a like a silkiness, that it's there. It's like we've talked about, like even in that cream ale that you had with the flaked barley. Yep. That was there too. Yep. So I think you've like nailed it in terms of using the proper. Would you say that's an adjunct?
Sure.
Okay. I
call it a grain.
A grain.
But fine. But adjuncts.
But you're adding something to, like, it's not really is it fermentable? It's more of like
you put it in the mash. The starches convert to sugar. It's 100%. It's a fermentable.
It's a fermentable grain. Okay, so it's a grain, but it's for a specific aspect of the beer, which is the
just
body.
Like every other grain you put in your beer.
True.
Which hence brings up the idea of what the F is an adjunct. That's another video.
Can we please use that as the title of the video?
We will.
What the F
is an adjunct.
Is an adjunct. Okay.
All
right. Sorry to like get us off course, but I think that what you were trying to target with the addition of flaked barley in this beer, rather than oatmeal or rolled oats, You've nailed that.
I think it's happened. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, the only thing that's you get now. This is just me. There is like sort of an oil, like some kind of. You get that oiliness from the
There's
oats.
a slickness, yeah.
A slickness,
Yeah.
and that's not here. But
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever really quality captured that oily slickness, and to tell someone this has an oily slickness to it, I don't think that's very attractive. I mean, I've had really great oatmeal stouts and been like, that's great.
But I think that's there. You can say that's a presence.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I just think it's easier to get there with flake barley. To get the body, to get the fullness, the roundness with flake barley, which is interesting, which leads us into sort of our conundrum, because
Tell me more.
Irish stout, which is a beautiful style, is flake barley and roasted barley, and the purpose of the flake barley is an adjunct property to just give you dryness.
Yeah.
Right? To keep it dry. There's no crystal malt.
Okay.
There's no chocolate malt generally.
Yeah.
In a dry Irish stout. But that's flake barley. So this has got flake barley in it. There's no roasted barley in this stout. But there's also got some caramel malts. It's got a couple caramel malts in it. So it doesn't have oatmeal in it.
No.
But it's got some of the oatmeal stout properties in caramel malt. The other thing is that, but it's not a dry Irish stout because there's a little bit of a caramel sweetness there.
So this is what you're trying to say. This is the Warren Stout.
My problem is this.
This is the
exactly
category, subcategory.
This is the problem with the stout category.
All right.
Stout has got, there's a lot of divisions of stout, okay? Before they changed the style guidelines, stout what came in the Irish, oatmeal, sweet, foreign stout, and export stout, and an imperial stout, right? Or foreign, export, and imperial
Russian,
stout.
yeah.
So it's 5, right? Russian imperial stout. The problem is, if you wanted to brew a stout as large as, like, big and full, like an oatmeal stout, with some sweetness, the largeness keeps it away from the Irish category.
Yep.
But the hopping rate keeps it away from the American category. But if you don't want to use oatmeal, where are you? There is no, like, here's my thing.
Where?
There's no just
Nowhere.
English stout. We sort of all are forced to assume that, like, all stouts in England are made with oatmeal. But that's just not true in itself. But even if you're just trying to create a stout that you like yourself, maybe oatmeal stout doesn't fit the bill. I'm sort of liking this without oatmeal in it. But it's not a dry Irish stout because it is sweeter than a dry Irish stout. But it's not a sweet stout either because I don't have lactose in it.
Right.
And it's nowhere near that sweet. So it sort of exists in this weird gray area. The numbers line up with a small American stout minus the IBUs. It lines up with like a foreign export stout without the big gravity. But it just sort of misses on the flavor. So I think there's like a hole in the stout category
I think
where
you just need to push for the Warren Stout.
Evolution Stout.
Evolution Stout?
Evolution Stout.
No. I think you should like take first name basis or last, your surname.
Yes.
And like put it forth and say like, this is how it should be.
This is how it should be.
The only thing that would really, what you need to do is start your own commercial brewery and make this your flagship beer. And then people would need to...
People go, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I've been missing my whole life.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about the New England IPA.
Yeah.
That's become, I don't know, that's not is that a recognized style yet? No. But it will be because a few small breweries in our neck of the woods started to brew these IPAs in a certain way.
Yeah.
They're cloudy AF and they're really hoppy, but not back of the boil hoppy. Very much in the dry hop end of the boil hoppy.
Yep.
So anyway, maybe that's what you got to do.
Busting conventions.
That's your new thing.
I mean, I
It's
think
like
if you're going to try to
gotta
brew
start your
any
own
style that you enjoy as your house style, it's no holds bars. It should be, you should really drive the flavor profile you want to what you want. What I'm going for here is something that's a little bit caramelly, mostly chocolate, not a lot of harsh dry roast, and a good mouthfeel. And then when I want to, depending on the time of year, I can play with the gravity is in terms of getting the percent ABV I want. And then we're in a time, maybe I want a 6.5% stout, But as we're into late spring right now, maybe I want more of a 4.5%.
And you need your own PR firm to get the notion out there.
Absolutely.
This is something that needs to be recognized.
Yep.
Evolution Stout.
Evolution Stout.
The Warren Stout.
So it's great. I will put the recipe in the description below just so you can see what I'm talking about
Very nice.
rather than go over it here.
Love it. But yeah, I think it's worthy of
Is it a good stout?
following. Yeah, it's a great stout. Yeah, I don't know what else you want to do with this.
I want to win. I want to win.
You want to win. This is great. I think this is
We're crushing it with this stout.
Yeah.
Of course, once it starts getting hot, man, this keg's going to have to sit.
Well, when October comes around, people will want the Evolution Stout, and that's the
It'll
whole
be
point.
interesting to see how this goes. You know, we'll come back to this. Maybe we'll circle back to this in like late September.
And see how it is?
Yeah.
Right on.
I'll bottle some up and we'll hold on to it.
Okay, cool. All right, that's that. Evolution Stout, everybody.
Evolution Stout.
Try it with Flaked Barley.
Flaked barley, my friend.
You'll never go back to oatmeal again.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you.
Put a couple oats in there so you can call it an oatmeal stout, but this is the winner right here.
Right there. And then you'll get that oily slickness that everybody brags about.
Oily. Sounds great.
All right, for John and Mike, brew-teas.com. Brew on.
Stout on.
Stout.
That tastes weird. It tastes as good as when we first had it. Anyway, hang in there.
I'm hanging.
What do you think? Okay.
I don't think it's bad.
That's weird. Okay. That's all B-roll. All right. Are we ready?
Please.
Am I starting? You're
Please be B-roll like.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
It's kind of weird.
Kind of weird, Don.